Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. My name is Aldrin Guerrero. Joining me are Mr. Aaron, the voice, Nakamura. So what's up, Aaron?
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai, the legend, Ferguson. Say what's up, Kahai?
What's up?
The boys are here. It is our last podcast of the year, basically, right? Because next week, Monday, is Christmas Day. The following Monday after that is New Year's Day. So, don't watch live podcasts on a day that you should be spending time with your loved ones, everybody, you know? So although we'd love to do one and you guys can watch and stuff, no, go spend time with your family so that we can spend time with ours also, right? I guess, yes. Yeah, Kai?
Oh, there's nothing more that I want to do than do a podcast.
Oh, no, I love that. I mean, we are family. We're spending time with our loved ones, man. You're right?
Oh,
you love me, right?
Yeah, I love doing podcasts. Great.
You love this. All right. So how this works is we basically answer any and all of your questions. You guys give us questions via the live chat because this is a live podcast that's going on right now. You can use the live chat, ask us questions there. You can email us. You can text us. You can give us a phone call, leave a voicemail, all that good stuff. However we can get them, we try to answer them as best as we can. I'll give my 2 cents. Aaron will give his 2 cents. Kahai will give his 2 cents. We'll give you the best 6-cent answer. So you got O's. You got Q's. I messed it up. You got Q's. We got O's. Because sometimes they're answers, sometimes they're opinions. So we just say opinions. We'll give you the opinions to your questions. Because, we don't claim to know everything. We don't know everything, Kahai.
Yep.
We can Google it though, right?
That's for sure.
Google magic. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Let's get the first question down. What do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah. Me and Aaron were talking about. I think we all have this personality where we can get into something and then get into it pretty deep and not be able to almost like do anything else until we get this down.
Oh, I get you.
And so we call it like getting into a rabbit hole, right? And we were thinking, or we wanted to ask you, like, what is like a music or ukulele related rabbit hole that you got into this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And we were thinking it could be like a song that you heard that is like, I gotta learn this. Or we were even thinking like that year that you got into like campanella, right? And you really wanted to get into it. So like a technique that you got into that you started to incorporate this year. And it's just like, I really gotta get into this.
Okay, I mean, for the first half of the year, like I think I was like into like doing some ukulele things. The second half of the year was a little bit more involved, I should say, as far as like my personal and all the other crazy things that were going on in my life, But my obsession this year was definitely just trying to go back to my roots of like listening to Hawaiian players and kind of doing what they do. That's why this year we talked a lot about like Herbold Jr., Herbold Sr., and we talked about like Kyle Critter Boys, of course. I mean, we talk about them all the time, but I was learning like Sir Duke from Herbold Jr. I was also learning his version of Europa, just kind of playing around with that.
With the low G.
With the low G. Yeah, basically maybe low G. I was just obsessed with low G this year. And I was just kind of learning how to properly use low G. And maybe it's no coincidence that I started hanging out a lot with, or at least talking with people like Brittany Paiva this year, and just really getting an appreciation for that low G part of ukulele. I've always been a high G player, and I think this year I really like dove into the low G side of making music with the ukulele. Another thing that I did this year, and like I do with every other, with every year, is I try to get like one kind of chord or extension and really try to work it into songs. I would, last year I think it was like the minor sevens, or what, like this particular chord shape of minor seven I was into. The year before was this particular chord shape of minor seven. This year like nines have been really fascinating, and like in trying to see how I can work some nines into my into my playing. For people who don't know, it would be 1, 3, 5, 7, then 9. So like you have like C, for example, you have 1, 3, 5, 7, and then the 9. So you can do something like. So here's a 7, here's a 9, because here's 1. So I just omitted the 3. So there's no 3. So 1, 5, 7, 9.
Yeah.
It's a major 7th chord with an add 9.
Yeah,
like
with a 9. Yeah, with a 9 in there.
And the numbers correspond to
the numbers in the scale. So the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, and the 9th note in the scale.
So if you write out the scale, you number them,
stack that up.
Those numbers make up the chord.
And just like kind of playing around with that and how that kind of connects to to some songs that that we do. That's one thing that I was working on. Another there's plenty. I mean and the later half of the year, whenever I did have time, I was working on, and this is the most recent thing that I've been working on. Is chord tone soloing, which is super difficult if you've been like a melody based like improv person like I've been, and it's just like that doesn't make sense. Like why wouldn't you play notes in a sequential, like
so explain what that is even.
Okay. So chord tone soloing is basically just playing the tone within that chord. So here, like in a C, you would just use a 1, 3, 5, 8. Or those are the notes that you would use. But if you're good enough, then you would use the the extensions, and if you would use any substitutions, you would use the notes in those chords. So for example, instead of seeing since I was talking about the 9s, right? So instead of playing just a 1, 3, 5. It would be kind of boring to just do that all day. But what you want to do is then add the 7 and the 9 in there, So it'd be a something like that, where you'd use those tones in the in your solo, and rather than just the 1, 3, and 5. And I'm not great at. That's why I'm working on it, everybody. For the people who are like, "Oh, that's not good sounding," and just because I'm working on it.
What's the difference between that and just finger picking?
It is, but finger picking would be more like an arpeggio approach to it. But in this case, you still want to be melodic. So if I were playing D, for example, so because I want to get this 7 here. So instead of going, which would just be a finger picking arpeggio, or even if you played random, it doesn't sound like there's any melody to it. It just sounds like an arpeggio, like a piano playing its thing. But if I were to do this with say chord tone soloing, I'd add that 7 in there. I'd have the 7 and the 9, so maybe something like that, where here's the major 7, maybe add the 9 there, here's the 3, 5, major 7, 9, then 10, 11, 12, 13, you can add a 13 in there. It's really challenging you to know your stuff. And that's why guys like jazz guys and people who can create those kind of crazy jazzy chords, those are the guys who are really good at it, because it's just play this extension, and then you have you have guys who will add the flat 5s and sharp 11s to those crazy chord tone soloing, and it's that is just levels that I want to reach, and that's why I'm currently working on it. Yeah.
Because you probably already do that when you're improvising or something. You come across it every once in a while, but you're talking about being more intentional with choosing these notes specifically, because they're these are not the normal notes that people would normally choose to solo.
Because when I was learning the solo, shout out to Grandpa Conrad, who was teaching me in Kaniho how to do how to play solos. He's just play the note in the chords, which is in chord tone soloing, that's basically what you're doing. So I would just do a C, A minor, F, and G7. So if I'm soloing to this, I'm right? And it just so he just said, just make up stuff with chords that you're already playing, and you can kind of create something of your own just by using, because you wouldn't be playing any wrong notes.
Yeah.
Because if
You're
Aaron
only
is
using
playing
1, 3, and 5
yes,
of the correct chord.
if you're playing the notes in the chord that your backup is playing, no wrong, no
there's
wrong
no
notes.
way that you can
So
play a wrong note.
in like chord tone soloing, it kind of it's that same concept, but just steps further. Where
and
like
more melodic.
you're using that, but then like on top of your C, I can add extension of 7,
Whatever
9,
you want,
11, 13, whatever it is that you want to add there, and that's and you can really tell if someone's really good if they can take just those chord tones and create a melody out of that, and that's like where it's just insane levels,
Because it's almost like limiting your choices, right? Because you're not playing any note from the scale.
Yeah.
Because like usually when you're playing solos, you're just picking any note from the scale, or
well, you would do. I mean, the most basic way to go about it is to take just like the what is it? Pentatonic, like a pentatonic scale, because all 5 of those notes are like the optimal notes to play on a solo. So you just make a little melody based on the pentatonic of that of that key that you're doing, and you'll be just fine. Like if you're just playing those those notes, then it's kind of like easy mode. But picking notes off of that chord, plus the chord changes constantly, so there's so that your brain has to keep moving.
You're not thinking of like a set scale.
No,
you're thinking of what chord is being played right now.
That's how you really know your stuff.
And
so
then,
for me, like it's a current challenge of like, okay, I'm just taking simple 2-5-1s right now, and then just trying to do what I can to on a 2-5-1.
Yeah.
And it's really, really difficult for me. So I don't know, like if people are asking like what I'm working on right now, it's chord tone soloing, where like, okay, I get the 1, 3, 5, maybe 7 even, but like adding the 9 and the 11 and being super melodic with it is something that I'm just not there yet. I will be, constantly challenging myself.
Yeah.
I feel like
Lenny was saying, like, I can't wait for people to see Lenny 2024.
Because definitely Aldrine in like the last 2 years, even like I've been playing a lot differently, a lot more like playing around with voicings and stuff. Like I've been doing that a little bit more than I used to.
I feel like that's like the natural progression for musicians too, though, right? Because it's like kind of like you join a group of people, and then it's like, okay, guys, this is the established rule, right? We're always playing these notes, and if we play these notes, it sounds good. And then it's just like one person was like, but what if we don't play those notes, And it's like you guys are playing together, and then they throw it in, and so everybody else like perks up and is like, what did you just do? And it's like always kind of trying to push that limit of like, I'm doing this, like maybe the audience won't even like really care, like, oh, what did he do? But I know my friends will be like, that was weird. That was cool.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys want examples, I mean, listen to any like Abe Lagrimas solo, and that's all he's doing is like, that's so insane. and he knows not just that chord, so maybe he's not even playing the chord tone of what chord you're playing, but a substitution of that chord and the tones to that substitution. It's that where you're trying to look left and right at the same time. Like I can't do that, but I aspire to. Okay, that's what I've been obsessed with. So that's those 2 things: low G, and chord tone soloings.
Yeah. We talked about too, like if this question you answered it pretty quickly, we could maybe ask like, what is a non-music rabbit hole that you found yourself getting into?
Lots. I mean, oh my gosh.
Or how about what's your favorite from this year, if you had to pick one?
Rice cooker recipes.
That's so specific.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, friggin' rice cooker recipes, man. Like, because we were just talking about like how apparently like you shouldn't keep rice for for that long. Like a 24 hours, 48 like is already like it's kind of sketchy. Pushing it, yeah. So
that's keeping rice out, like not in the refrigerator? Or
I think so.
in
I think so. No, I
general?
think in general, even if you put it in the refrigerator, it still can grow mold and whatever. But I don't know if it's true. Yeah, I just saw it on the internet one day. I'm just like, oh,
and the
well,
internet's always right.
yeah, the internet's always right. And the thing is, I'm like, well, I kind of like fresh rice anyway. So
Yeah.
I'll get my rice cooker and I'll just make 2 cups for me and my family, which is fine. We'll finish it off within like 24, 48 hours. It's okay. So I'm like, well, if I'm only making like the 2 cups, then like, and since I've been busy, especially the last like half of the year,
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't I just put like a bunch of other ingredients and it'll cook, and then like
Yeah.
it cooks the rice and like,
It's like
there's the meal.
Using the rice cooker as an Instapot.
Yes, yes.
If you're not supposed to eat old rice, how do you make fried rice? Because that's the only
24
way to
hours,
make
and
it,
not saying you eat it that day. But some of my favorites have been like I've made like oyakodon. I can make that like a rice cooker version of that. So I'll just make I'll put the rice and I'll put like the meat in shoyu, like and onions, like, the regular seasonings of sugar or whatever, and then and chicken. But once it cooks, it'll last maybe 5 minutes, 3 minutes. I'll beat like 2-3 eggs. I'll put it in there. So by the time it finishes, the eggs are that kind of like half cook, like an oyakodon. Then just mix it up, put it in, and if I want to be fancy with it, put the parsley on top. Like, oh, look at this, there's green in this brown dish.
It's healthy.
And then like another good one of it being just rice. If I make something like a katsu or whatever, it's like I'll take some sweet potato, I'll make the rice, put the toss the sweet potato, a little bit of what's it, like mushroom stock, like put the mushroom stock in there, like sweet potato, the red ones, the gold red sweet potato. Yeah. So just in case anybody was wondering, and that thing will cook. Then you just put the whole sweet potato inside, and then you break it up and into like little tiny chunks and stuff. So you have like sweet potato rice, and then you add like some toasted sesame seeds on top. It's amazing. And then you just eat that with whatever like protein that you're gonna eat. That I've been obsessed with that like this year. It's been a rabbit hole. It's been great for me and my family, only because like Heather's, while I'm busy, Heather's watching the 2 kids for me. So I'm just like, I have like 15 minutes like available,
To
and I'll just
prepare something,
I'll just
and
like wash the rice cooker, wash the rice, put it in there, and make a meal. And then like by the time I come home, the meal is done and it's ready, and we just all eat, and my wife doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I feel like, is this a subset of like TikTok videos? Because I feel like there's the Instapot, right, where it's like, this is the easiest Instapot recipe.
And the thing is with Instagram, with TikTok and stuff, the more you watch that kind of stuff, the more Instagram is like, oh, I guess he likes like one pot rice cooker recipe.
Yeah.
So like maybe we'll do this. But yeah, so that's what I've been obsessed with. I mean, I've really been into cooking. Like I'm really into cooking. I like cooking a lot, and I think just having the ability to cook stuff like is amazing. I think like us as humans, like being able to like take something and transform it into something that we can put in our bodies, delicious things that we can put in our bodies. It's amazing. It's amazing we have that. So if you don't know how to cook, you should learn some, because it's amazing. It's a great skill. Yeah. Okay. Next.
So we'll take some questions from the audience. And then Joseph said, would you mind talking a bit more about proper left-hand thumb placement?
Okay, so there's levels to this. Okay, so as far as if you're a beginner, I would suggest just using the pillow technique. So the pillow is this right here, this the soft spot between the thumb and the pointer finger. And if this is the neck of the ukulele, you just place the neck on the pillow. But the kicker here is, I've been telling my my students, in-person students lately, that you shake a person's hand in front of you and not try to slap the ceiling, so to speak, or shake hands with the ceiling, or whatever it is that I tell them. So it's this way, not this way. Okay, so if you're trying to grab your chords like this, it's just the worst thing that you could do for your fingers and your wrist and all that stuff. Okay, grab it this way. And so if the thumb is there, right? So you can get all your beginner chords like C, A minor, F, G, D minor, whatever. You know, all your beginner chords here on first position, you're all good. If you just put the neck on the pillow and just use that, that's great, you know? Then you evolved and you kind of, you know, you start to move away a little bit. How do I show it? There. So you start to move away. See, so it's touching the neck is touching the pillow. Then you kind of move the neck away from the pillow a little bit. So you're just touching the pillow, you're moving away. And let me explain that. So now what's making contact is that this part of your knuckle is trying to make contact with the top part of the headstock. And then your big knuckle here on the, you know, on the pointer finger is making contact with the bottom part. And you can kind of see there it is. It's not touching the pillow. So you're departing a little bit away from that. And the roundness of the knuckle here and the knuckle there allows you to kind of move around so you can get into second position from there, but you're still, like, you know, you're still keeping this palm away from the bottom of the ukulele, right? And then the next thing is to take this out completely, and what you're gonna do is kind of hook the thumb so that it looks like this. So see, you can see it already. Like, there's so much more mobility with my hand. Although my palm is down here, it's still not touching the bottom of the neck. It's there, and there's, like, you know, there is space between the neck and my palm. So if you're doing this, that's not what you should be doing. It's there, okay? So, you know, that's usually like pretty good, like all the way down. But my rule is, if you're holding a chord that one finger has to hold, you know, two or more strings together, like B flat, bar, E, like all those kind of chords, like minor 7 chord shapes. So those chord shapes where you're holding more than one string with one finger, then that's when the thumb goes in the back. So all the other chords, it doesn't require you to do that. The thumb is always at the top, either here with the, you know, with the beginner pillow grip, then the modified pillow grip, and then with just a thumb hook. If you're playing those chords and you're still doing a thumb hook, it might work, but it's a little bit uncomfortable. You can kind of see my wrist going up to compensate, and I don't really want that. So to drop the wrist, thumb goes in the back. And when the thumb in the back, not directly over the pointer finger, so offset it. So this would be directly over the pointer finger, offset it a little bit so that it looks like this. So it's not this. Yeah, if it's directly there, if you just pinch your pointer and thumb together, you're gonna feel pressure right here. Okay, and that's, you know, so imagine if you're holding that chord for God knows how long, you're gonna keep you're gonna keep having this pressure, and over time that's gonna really fatigue your your hand's gonna feel all the fatigue from doing that. Yeah, so you want to offset it, and if you're doing a bar chord, same thing. See, it's kind of like on the first fret rather than it being on the second fret. So that's the thumb position there. But keep in mind, always not having your palm touch the bottom. So when I'm playing B flat, it looks like this. When I'm playing B minor, it looks like this. Playing E, it looks like this. And if I were to take my sleeves, you can kind of see my wrist stays nice and straight. Or just relax, you know. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's not. I don't want it to be like a ruler straight. Like, it's just relaxed. As long as I'm not doing this or not doing this, that's not relaxed. This is not relaxed either. That's where it's supposed to be, right? So here's B flat, here's B minor, here's E. You hear all. There's no like muffled sound that's coming out of it. But yeah, thumb position is very to the player, but this is what I found that works and is more efficient. As far as efficiency goes, putting your thumb in those positions will get you to play those chords a lot more successfully. Yeah, you have higher rate of success playing those chords if the form is correct on the thumb and just your wrist position in general.
Is there any time where your palm would be like?
There are, like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If like some like harder songs with like different positions, like if you're doing like a big stretch, like that might be, but kind of rare. But like, yeah, there are some.
So, but like for all of these chords, it's like, or all the chords that you're gonna find for most songs is like, no, you shouldn't have
Yeah.
you should avoid that.
Or I guess it would be the opposite. So if you're doing the like those stretches, like the wrist tends to like kind of go down, so that you want your hand to have this open reach, and as you're opening up the fingers, the wrist has to kind of go in front, and you don't want your elbow to go in, so it's just the wrist is going in front. If it's here, then like you're only limited to how much your fingers can stretch out if you're trying to keep your wrist relaxed. But even then, like if I'm trying to stretch it out that way, see that? So it'll do that if you're trying to stretch it out. Like if I go, so there, like for that kind of stretch, that's when my wrist will do. There it is. That's, so in order to get those stretches, yes, like the wrist does have to drop, but I mean, those are specialty cases. If you're just playing normal chords, then I wouldn't really want to see your wrist drop or go up. Yeah.
I feel like, and even like our last podcast, somebody in the comments said like, oh, I have tiny fingers, so that makes it harder for me to hold bar chords, right? So I feel like some people are like, I'm compensating because my hands don't fit the ukulele, or like my hands are too big or too small, so I need to jump my wrist out or pull my wrist in.
Yeah, no, I mean, no one wants to hear that, like, that it's not the size of your hand, because like they want something to like either to blame or to like they want.
But that's
some kind
actually
of
good
excuse.
news, right?
Yeah. It's not the size of, and it goes both ways. Yesterday somebody asked me that same question on a class that we had here on Kauai. They're like, oh, are my hands too big for whatever? So when I'm playing, like chords like D, or like chords where they're kind of mushed together and stuff, I took like a soprano ukulele, and I have notoriously large hands, and I played a soprano ukulele for him, and I played like a lot of really complicated jazz chords that would be, would have your fingers clumped up, and they work. It's all in position, so it's not, how. If your hand is too big or whatever, it's just the angles that you take the chords in. And you guys have seen me play that tiny miniature ukulele. It still works, like, so it's not the size of your hand. And I've seen, I've seen kids now like playing tenor and baritone ukulele with their tiny hands. Looks just fine, like they're getting those chords down, but no one wants to hear that, what I mean? Like, you want to say that, like, oh, it's because my hands are too small, like, and then you don't want to hear about like Mary Lou Who, like, who's 5 years old playing a classical guitar and getting like, getting the right chords down. You don't want to hear that. It's discouraging, of course, right?
You
want something to blame.
I feel like those people are like, well, of course, like a professional will make it look easy, right? But the secret is that it is easy. Like, most professionals are not struggling to like hold chords. Because if they're struggling the whole time to hold chords, that's gonna wear them down too, and then they can't play I can't play a full hour-long show,
or get to the next chord quickly enough.
So I'm trying to figure out ways that will make it as easy as possible for my hands to play these chords, and where I'm not struggling. And I think for people who are struggling with certain chords, is like, that's the biggest thing, is like, try and play it in front of a mirror and just see where your hand is like jutting out or at a rough angle, or like, what exactly like looks uncomfortable. Because if it looks uncomfortable and it feels uncomfortable, then that's probably like something
there's
you can
probably
adjust.
a better way to do it. There actually is a time, like, this is a personal thing, where a part of my palm does touch the bottom of and that's like moving from like a regular chord, like an F, to the B flat.
Oh yeah, that's the push. You're just kind of pushing.
Yeah, so that's just the base of my pinky finger.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I'll do that pretty often when I'm switching from like a regular chord, like an F, and then I need to get my thumb behind in order to support. I notice that I do touch just briefly.
I do as well.
Get it into position.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like palm, like this.
Yeah, definitely not the palm.
That. Yeah, but you
close
do,
to the fingers, like and most of the time it's just the base of my pinky finger that touches.
To slide it up and down. Like, I mean, for me, mostly it's like just going from this position to that position to kind of get it in. And I don't know, I like feeling feeling the frets so that I know like how high I'm going, or I just like that feeling of the frets on on my fingers. So doing this as I get into position,
it's like a slide. Yeah, it's
slide.
more like a, and that's when your thumb does move to the back.
Yeah, or like I think drop baby drop, I do that. So like using this.
Just sliding
to slide and then get in a position and then let go. But really it's just to change positions. Yeah. I just use that to keep my hand kind of close to the fretboard.
Yeah. And because you're feeling how far it slides, you kind of have a way to recognize where you are on the fretboard tactilely, I guess.
I guess like maybe it's like something that professional musicians maybe don't want people to know, but I do feel like people have it in their mindset of like they're just like different. That's why they can hold these things and do these things. Yeah. But the secret is like I don't really think so. I think they're pretty normal people with like normal bodies and finger types.
The secret is form, man, and people don't in practice. And people don't want to hear that. You know,
that's what like when we had Sammy on. That's like exactly what he said, right? It's like.
Yeah, people don't want to hear that. And
how do you realize you're a magician? It's like, no one is really a magician of anything. And
it's just a matter of having good form. Like I hear that, a lot with watching professional ukulele players play. Like, oh, they make it look so easy, or it looks effortless, or whatever. So when people are watching professional musicians play, like that's kind of what they say. I'm guilty of saying that, of people doing just skills in general, and really it all boils down to the form, because they, you can have a beginner with really good form make it look easy because it's fluid, and that's what makes it look easy, is because the movements are natural. They're not, it doesn't look like they're doing this or they're doing that. When they start to do this or to do that, that's when it's like, oh, it looks like he's struggling, and the struggle is more apparent and obvious if you have not so good form. But if the form is good, it's like, oh, well, how did you just go from this one thing to another? An example that I use for people, it's like that going from like the strum to to the roll, to the finger pick, back to the roll and strum, without like moving any of this or like or changing my grip. It's all within that same form. If I can do right? It's just this like
very
right here.
Movement.
Very little movement. It's like, oh, it makes it look so easy. But like, no, it's the form. My form, I've been working on it for years, and it looks fluid because I'm going from one technique to another because the form allows it to do that. Yeah.
That's the other thing too, right? The thing you just said is that you've been working on it for years and years, and people are like, it's so easy. How do they do that? And when you ask them, it's like, well, how long have you been working on it? It's like, oh, maybe a few months or a couple weeks.
Right.
So you have to give yourself a break.
Yeah.
As well.
And you hear from people who are like, oh, why would I? Because we have your video on how to hold the ukulele. And it's like 10 minutes long. Whatever, you know what I mean? And people are like, why would I watch a video on how to hold your ukulele for like 10 minutes? Like, you just hold your ukulele. I was like, no, actually you don't. Like, there is a proper way to do it that isn't so obvious.
I feel, and for the people who are like, you just hold it, it's like, for some of them, I think they just get lucky and they hold it right the first time,
Yeah.
But then for other people, it's like awkward and it's hard. It's not intuitive to put the ukulele in the right space that you need it.
Yes.
So,
Just the fact alone that like I tell people to like move their ukulele forward, like that makes a difference.
Yeah,
people
are
because
like, I think there was because we posted that on Instagram last week, and somebody said like that unlocked a bunch of chords.
Yeah,
because that's great because people don't think about it.
It's about form. If your ukulele is over here and you have like this kind of like this arm that's doing the chords like this, you can't expect your hand or your fingers to work properly if you have them up here. with the way that you
it's
play. So a lot of people are like,
not a natural positioning for
and
your arm.
Even here, like in Hawaii, we're guilty of doing so. Like we don't teach form. Like in schools, when I learned in 4th grade, you know, it's just like, okay, everybody grab ukuleles. All right, let's play chord C. And they're not like, okay, hold your ukulele like this or whatever. It's just like, no, just grab the ukulele, just start to play C already. You know, like let's not worry about that part. Just go play your C. So a lot of kids will kind of like bring it against their body like this and play. So it's that bringing it against your body that does this thing. You know, you don't want that. Bring it to your body and bring it about 2 inches forward, lean the back so that you can see it, because most people can't see their uke.
And are hunched over.
Yeah, and are hunched over to do this like that, you know? Yeah. So, and then bring this forward to make this a lot more comfortable. That's how us professionals play. See how I said us? Because I'm insinuating that I... No. So,
yeah, Mom.
Yeah, Mom, I don't just play at ROMs. And even the guys at ROMs are professionals.
I swear they're real musicians.
Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway.
Tell me more about your musician friends.
Oh yeah.
Hang out with all the time.
Have fun with Kaniho, your professional musician friend.
Yeah, it's so this, you know, like that's kind of how we hold it, but it's like an illusion. It looks like we're, you know, we have it like against our body and stuff, but it's really that. It's in front, you know. There's a triangle between the uke, your body, and your left arm. I keep repeating the fact that like Aaron is a great video on holding your ukulele, and it breaks it down as to why, you know, like why you hold it that way. So take 10 minutes off of your day and watch that video. And don't be one of those guys that are like, why should I watch a 10-minute video about holding the ukulele? It's like, it might help you.
Because even like people who are like, but I've been playing ukulele for 10 years already. Like, why do I have to watch a video about holding the ukulele?
Yeah, because you might have been holding it wrong for 10 years. That's why.
Well, we've had comments, right? Where people are like, I just realized I've been holding it wrong this whole time. And now that I have this, I've figured out like how to play a bunch more stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, that's sort of like anything.
We've all got stuff to work on.
Right. I was playing basketball with Lenny out there.
Yeah.
Like in the
when Lenny was visiting.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, your form is terrible. I'm like, I know my form is terrible. That's why it's not going in. And the way that I shoot it straight at the basket. You know,
so
no,
it bounces straight off the rim.
Yeah. And he's like, no, try to do this. I'm like, I know what I'm supposed to do, but I just want to toss it in the thing, you know?
Yeah.
You sound just like my dad.
Yeah, that's exactly how people are about it.
Yeah.
Holding their ukulele.
So I get it. I get it.
I just want to play the song that I want to play already. Like,
gosh, I just want to play I'm Yours, all right?
Yeah.
And I want to do it at C so that it's easy for me.
Yeah. I just want to chuck a basketball towards the rim. And sometimes it goes in, and I'm happy when it does.
There's the box, right? You just aim for the box.
Yeah.
Just toss it straight at the box, and it'll just like backboard into the rim.
The harder that you toss it, the better it is.
Yeah. But like Lenny, he was saying that like he watched the master class with like Steph Curry and he was like, oh, this is the form. I'm like, screw the form, man. Like just let me just make it in.
Yeah, I spent a good month trying to learn, and I'm still pretty terrible. But it's a little better.
Your fiance is a basketball coach.
She coaches volleyball more now. But her main sport is basketball, and so I have like no chance of ever catching up to her in my lifetime. So
all you need to do is
But I can't even play horse with her.
All you need to do is spend $100,000 to get a high-speed camera, and then get sports scientists to analyze your form.
I actually did set up the GoPro and everything.
So that you can check out your form.
That's hilarious. And it's terrible.
Yeah, next. Okay. Sorry. Let's not talk about sports. We're just gonna embarrass ourselves.
So I wanted to get to this one because I feel like it's kind of similar.
Yeah.
Yvette said, I teach first grade ukulele in our classroom, and we have soprano ukuleles. Many parents are telling me that their kids are coming home with a blister on their thumb. Any ideas to improve this
It's
problem?
probably because like their thumb's like back here playing all the chords.
No, I think it's on their right hand.
Or right hand?
Yeah.
Are they strumming with their thumb?
Yeah, that I asked if it's on the right or left, and she said it's right.
Okay. You got to teach them how to strum properly, which would just be like the pointer finger. So the pointer finger, and the thing is, and I've had this, you know, I have first grade students as well, and a lot of them try to stiff their whole hand and try to do that kind of strum. But really, just tell them that like where it's supposed to make contact, which is I tell them it's the half of the nail that's closest to the middle finger. So this half of the nail, when you point to yourself and tell them to do the motion of like trying to get like cookie crumbs off your shirt, because this right here is the proper strumming movement. See my wrist, my forearm not moving. It's just this. If you do this and then just kind of concentrate on what the pointer finger is doing, it's the same exact motion as when you strum your ukulele. So the contact is here, right? So when you point yourself and you point down to the ground, tell them like, you know, move your whole hand. Don't just do this, because that's not twisting the wrist at all. It's like this way. That's how you twist the wrist, right? So pointer finger pointing to yourself and then down to the ground, to yourself, down to the ground. It shouldn't make contact with the thumb at all. So here, remember I said that the half that is closest to the middle finger, see that half? If you use the nail should glide on to or just slide through the strings. And you don't want them digging into the ukulele. So don't tell them to strum here over the sound hole. Tell them to strum over here where the sweet spot is. And the thing, a lot of that pain comes from the tension being too high on this side. Because when you think about it, you know, the string is being held from here and here. The closer you get to any particular side, the higher that tension is going to be on that string. So lower the tension by going towards the middle. The lowest tension is going to be where the 12th fret is. That's just the middle of the string. So right here is about the perfect spot, because it's not the lowest tension, but it is also not high tension. It's just the perfect tension for strumming. So there, that half of your nail going to the pointer finger, and then the up strum is the opposite side. So it's going to be flesh side closest to the thumb. So here, this half is going to hit. So I'll show it to you from here so it'll see that. Maybe you can, how do I show this? There, from this angle, it's going to go up. So here it is from that side and go up. So it shouldn't even be, they're probably getting blisters if they're doing this. If you're doing that all day, yeah, it's blister city, you know? Because they're probably using the side of their thumbs. They're not even using this. And if they are using this, and even more so, because they probably don't have the long nail. And if you're doing that with, you know, like all day, then you're gonna get a blister on the fingertip of the thumb. Yeah, so this way, because it's not constantly hitting the, you know, the skin, it's only hitting the skin on the up strum. Down strums are totally safe because it's all nail. Okay. With this though, try to have them like kind of do the motion, then get closer and closer and closer to your ukulele, and then as soon as they make noise, that's it. Don't dig any more than that. That's just right here. So because you just want them to use the finger tip of the finger, yeah, and that should be enough.
Because even if they're using their thumb, they shouldn't be getting blisters unless they're like really going
and
at
if their
it.
kids are probably playing down here doing that, so it's like really high tension and
close to the bridge.
So it's like, I think probably like that's one of the main things is like making sure that they know that you don't need to strum that hard.
Yeah, and the one thing that I saw too is the kids that I was working with, they said their pointer fingers hurt. It's because they're doing this to strum, you know, like kind of doing this thing. They think when I say nail, it's like just all nail. So this way, you're not even moving your wrist. It's all in the forearm, and you're using all of the nail to do that. But what you're doing is you're running the risk of hitting this very, very sensitive
like
spot.
nail bed.
Yeah, the bed.
Yeah.
It's pretty sensitive. So if you do that, and you hit that side, it's definitely gonna hurt. Yeah, but if you're hitting this way and you're not making contact with the nail bed and it's just hitting the side of the nail, should be all good.
Okay, so Jean said, what wood sounds closest to koa?
I mean, it's koa is an acacia family, so if you get an acacia ukulele, it's pretty similar to koa, because koa is just acacia that grows in Hawaii. It has different properties and stuff, but it's within that same family, so that would be pretty close. Another one, I'd say it just depends too, because koa, like, you can get like 2 koa ukuleles and they both can sound like completely different. Yeah.
You can also get 2 koa ukuleles from different companies.
Yeah.
And even if they're the same wood, just how they're made will sound different.
Will sound different. So it's kind of subjective, like, and also like that koa ukulele, if it's a solid top, like, throughout the years it'll sound different also, sound more like mahogany-ish, like as it as it gets older. So if you really want an answer, I'd say anything in the acacia family, of course, because koa is acacia. I'd say maybe certain like dark redwoods, like cedar, like it'll have that same brightness that koa has, but not like the mids that koa does. But if you want mids, then maybe like look for a bright mahogany, maybe, like that's because mahogany's got the mids, but it doesn't quite have the brights, the trebles. But there are and it's just so different, because there's some mahogany that sounds pretty bright. There's some like redwoods that'll sound so this is a tough one.
Or how much ukuleles are gonna be made out of all one wood, right? Like I'll see like a mahogany top with mahogany back and sides too. So
the back and sides also matter.
So you might have a ukulele that's made out of multiple pieces of wood that sounds really close to koa, but that doesn't mean that you should get all mahogany or all spruce because of it. It's pretty hard to diagnose like what, or like even what you're looking for in a koa. Like it's just ukulele to ukulele. It might be different.
And like it's about
what is the reason for the question?
Because they probably, I mean, usually when I'm asked that question, because that's not the first time I got asked that. It's usually like, do you want to find an alternate so that it sounds close, but you don't have to spend like the top dollar on like a koa,
So acacia would be the closest.
And I think people don't want to hear this, but I would also say, like, really, like, if you can, try and play a koa ukulele, because I think people get romantic about the fact that it's
Hawaiian,
and the tradition and everything, and then when they actually try it, they're like, I don't know if I
don't actually like this sound,
which is totally fine.
Koa
right?
to me, number 3.
Oh,
I know it's controversial. 1, spruce.
I think.
Guess what my number 2 is?
Redwood,
mahogany.
Oh, mahogany, because of the Taylor.
The Taylor, my Martin, like a lot of like the ukuleles that I have that are mahogany, just like whoa.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna make the joke. Excuse me, sir. I think I need to take away your Hawaii driver's license. You can't live here if you don't like koa. But then after you said that, I was like, I also have that ukulele that I really like.
Wasn't like a lot of the vintage Martins were mostly mahogany, right?
Yeah. I mean, so another controversial take. I kind of like the vintage mahogany ones better than like the 5Ks. The 5Ks are like exponentially more expensive because they're koa, right? But as far as sound goes, kind of have to give it up to the to mahogany. Kind of like how mahogany ages. When mahogany ages, like that like round mid tone just gets amplified. So if you're playing an ukulele to that like really good mid tone, you're like, whoa, I can play like some slow jazz on it and it'll sound like a jazz guitar. Amazing. Love it. Yeah. Next.
So Joshua said, since it's Christmas time, can you describe the dish?
Don't say that. in Tagalog, it's because the P word in Tagalog, it's just like a rice. It's like a rice cake basically. So the bongbong part of that is basically just the same thing, using the same kind of flour, but you cook it in a traditionally like bamboo. You know, like you put it inside the bamboo and you cook it that way. You steam it inside there. But you know, you can do it like with aluminum foil and then steam it, bake it, whatever you want to do. But yeah, it's a Filipino dessert that usually comes out during Christmas time, but you can get it any time. Sometimes you mix ube in it. Sometimes there's cheese. Sometimes it's a Filipino dessert, but very inappropriately named.
Especially for Americans.
For Americans
people
and Spanish speakers, you know what I mean? So,
but it is a thing. It's not like it's
no. So like it's always kind of, you know, like a little bit risky, like giving, you know, that to like my Mexican friends. Like it's like, what did you say? Like, that's kind of what it's called.
I feel like but in every language there's something, right, that is like, that sounds weird, but it's like that's what it is. Like, it's not intentional.
You eat puto, right?
Yeah.
Do you like it with savory things?
You know,
or like do you eat it as is?
Just as is. Most of the time it's at like a party, so I'll eat like 4. You know.
The traditional way to do it is to eat it with something savory.
You told me about that because you gave us that cheese, so I had it with that cheese. Before, and that was really good.
The best puto to get is like the one that's on the fake.
That's pretty much it. The tapioca, right? There's tapioca in it, but not too much else.
Yeah, that's good. Like nice, simple. Simple ginataan.
I mean, that's just how my family makes it. So, and I think it was just because my mom and her sisters liked it that way. So that's how my grandma made it for them. But I know there are a lot of other variations of it.
There's like my sister loved ginata. For the people who don't know, ginata is just to cook something with coconut milk. Ginataan is just like to put coconut milk into. Like that's like the dessert is basically like a thick as far as viscosity goes, like
it's
coconut
like a
milk,
soupy, but thick soup.
It's on the sweet side. But my sister loves ginataan, and I remember one year where we did like the month-long tour. You know, so my mom was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make some ginataan for Aldrin when he comes home and stuff." And the thing is, I like ginataan, but not like, I don't want like a whole pot of it or anything. I can eat maybe like a couple bowls. It's fine, you know. So my sister loves it and like constantly like hounds her husband about food, and so her husband goes, and my mom made like this humongous pot of it, and Wade, her husband, goes and grabs just fills like a bowl, and then my sister's like, no, stop it, it's for my brother. You gotta leave some for brother. And then he's like, Kat, there's like a whole pot outside of your mom made. It's like, but it's for brother, like when he comes home. And then we're just like, no, Kathy, you just want the whole pot for yourself.
She knows that when you come home, you'll have a small bowl, and then she gets the rest.
She gets the rest of it. So it's just so funny because she goes, no, stop, it's for brother.
I'm trying to be a good sister here. My sister loves like sponge cake, and a sponge cake that my auntie makes. And it's like the whole cake, and then she cuts like a slice, and she's like, okay, you guys can divide this slice between yourself. I get the rest of the cake, right? But we're like, okay, sure. You like it that much.
Well, since it's basically our Christmas and New Year's episode, what's other like Christmas like desserts and dishes do you guys like to eat at Christmas time?
I don't know if there's a specific Christmas dessert or something.
Mine is that pistachio cake that's made in that bundt pan. Yeah, so like my mom makes like a pistachio cake with like that green food coloring in the bundt pan, and then like when you serve it, you put like that powdered sugar on top. So that's one of those things where it's like I like it. It's not like the greatest dessert ever, but it's like if I don't have it for Christmas, like I'm gonna flip the table. Like, where is that pistachio cake?
It's like you're
I came here with a promise of pistachio cake.
Is it like November and it's like, Mom, it's coming around?
No, she's always really good about it, and she knows that I like it. Yeah.
How about you, Kahai?
So like, I think I don't know if it's my favorite, but I like party mix, and my
Like
mom,
Chex Mix.
and my mom, like last year and this year, she makes about like 5 like tubs of them.
Oh, tubs.
Or like a lot, and then she divides it to give as Christmas presents to other people too. But we always have like a leftover. And before, I would like open our container and then just take like cereal bowls of it or something and eat it for breakfast. And it's like, it's pretty much cereal, right? I'm just eating it without the milk. But then now that I'm like not trying to eat that stuff, I gotta be like, I just go to the table and like take a couple and I'm like,
good boy.
I'll have 8 Chex, please.
I was gonna say, like my neighbors there's one particular neighbor on the right side, like they always they always give us that same like kind of trail mix with the sweet and the furikake on top. Oh, it's so good.
I feel like
good. Hawaii Christmas.
I feel like you can get a party mix from multiple people and everybody has like a little bit of a different recipe. So you get the sweet furikake, you get like the savory like spicy one next, and you get like, I used to just like for the months of December to January,
it's all Chex Mix.
That's my breakfast for the day.
It's so good. My every time there's like a holiday or a birthday, it's always that spaghetti. But in the Philippines, that spaghetti comes out. Like if you guys have ever had Jollibee spaghetti, it's basically that, but just like a homemade, really amazing version of it. The Jollibee one, pretty sweet. I'm not knocking on people who like add extra sugar, but I feel like if you use banana ketchup in the thing, it's plenty sweet already. And people like will add sugar to that spaghetti. So I'm just like, this is a little bit too much. But love it. I think holiday spaghetti or just any kind of special occasion spaghetti is always my favorite. Filipino spaghetti.
The great thing about Kauai is like it's such a like melting pot of different cultures and a bunch of different stuff. You go to a party and people will bring like the same food, but everybody has their own recipes, right? And you try it and it's like, this one does taste different, and it does taste like different good in a different way. So it's like always awesome to try everybody's like different versions of even the same food.
What's your favorite Filipino dessert?
Not
ginatan. Like
that would be the
like
default.
like a kankanin.
What is like that? What is like that cascaron ball one?
Oh yeah. Like that kind of almost like poi mochi. Like cascaron.
Like, that one, because usually, I mean, sometimes they'll have it at parties, and that's the first thing that I'll go
cascaron.
For.
I like kuchinta. I don't know. Kuchinta is the brown kind of like it looks like a gelatin, but it's really like kind of it's bouncy like thing. It's made with lye water, and that's you usually put like coconut shavings on top. It's good. Kuchinta is good stuff. I mean, I can eat like 20 of them.
If people come to Hawaii and it's like, oh yeah, it's like you guys have so much food at a party or something, it's because like people you have rice and you have like a meat or something as a main dish, but then you have also carbs as dessert too.
Carbs and carbs, baby.
Yep.
That's why loco moco is like my favorite dish.
Do you want sugar on your carbs also? Yeah, here you go.
You put your rice as a whole bowl of rice, so that's where your carbs are, and then you add your hamburger patty and you add an egg and you smother it in gravy. You know what I mean?
It's like if you get a Hawaiian plate, right? It's like mac salad, rice, chicken long rice, and then rice pudding too, right?
Oh dang!
And it's like, you don't think about it, but it's all rice in different forms. Basically.
Right. Yeah, rice is amazing. That's why. 24 hours, my butt. You know what I mean? Like, I'm eating that thing for 5 days. Yeah, because I used to make like 5 cups like pot, but now I just make like 2-cup pot. Just for me and my family, and it's like between 4 people. I guess 3 because my baby doesn't eat rice.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
I know this is supposed to be an ukulele podcast.
It's Christmas, man. Come on, guys. We're talking about Christmas dishes, is what it is. Fine. Let's answer one more ukulele question, guy. Go ahead. Give me an ukulele question.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good.
Okay.
Andre said, do you have relaxation exercises for overexertion caused by too much playing or incorrect sitting postures, hand problems? And they kind of added like maybe more preventative. So maybe instead of exercises, it's like stretches, warm-ups, that kind of stuff maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the best, I always say the best warm-ups, honestly, is the warm-ups that Chris Salvador did for UU Plus. I know it's like, oh, there he is, like slinging UU Plus again. But honestly, the people who watch it, they're like, yeah, that's like the best warm-ups that I could find. Yeah. And for those of you who haven't seen it, it's the Rock On Inner Peace one. It's the... it's like putting out your hand and like relaxing and then like tightening and relaxing and then the shake and stuff. There's all these exercises that he does in that. Another one, of course, I was teaching my students yesterday, the spider. The spider is another good one to kind of do, because it's like just kind of teaching your fingers how to move together and independence, like with because if you're doing the spider, then your pointer finger would have worked with your middle, would work with ring, and would work with pinky, because the spider you do like, first is like pointer and middle, then ring and pinky, right? And then the next iteration is the pointer pinky, then two middles, and then the next iteration is the pointer and ring, right? So you're combining your pointer finger with all of these. So if you're going to do something kind of crazy, at least your fingers know how to move independently or together with another combination of another finger. Another thing you can do, the best thing you can do is work on your form, and that will like be preventative in hurting yourself, because if you're holding if you're holding it incorrectly and you're putting stress on your wrist and your hands and stuff and your fingers, no amount of like preventative warm-ups that you can do that'll alleviate or prevent that from happening. If you warm up for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, but every time you play a B flat chord, your wrist is up here doing that. So that's it's not gonna offset that damage. That's all. Just I think it would be better than that. Yeah, better to work on your form and get it right. Like I guess the first time, rather than put your hands through all that stress, and then you're like, how do I de-stress it? But the best way is to just fix your form so that you don't put stress on it in general.
I guess people when they're starting off with ukulele, they assume that the pain that they're feeling is fatigue because their fingers aren't used to holding it, which it can be a part of. But as the more you get into it, the more I think you'll realize that fatigue feeling is different from like that feeling of like, oh, my wrist is in the wrong position or my fingers
like
in
a
the wrong
joint
position.
pain.
Yeah. So like you just, anytime you feel that, I think you just want to avoid it, or like look at your hand and be like, why does it feel this way? Why am I feeling this? Like, what can I do to fix it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that we can ask her one more.
Okay.
Okay. Cardistry.
Yeah, I thought.
My card's right there.
You want to do one more ukulele question though?
Yeah.
We'll end on that one. So Rudy said, I have a friend that just started playing fingerstyle / solo ukulele. What's the best advice for people starting to play fingerstyle?
Form.
It's the answer to everything.
The answer to everything is form. If you're trying to play fingerstyle, my best advice is to learn the different inversions of things. Okay, because by learning the different inversions of things, that means you can, no matter where your melody line takes you, you will always know where the chord underneath that will be, right? So if you're going and you want to play like chord melody or fingerstyle, it's kind of tough because sure, the C is there, but then like you don't want to play like first position C as your C is up here. So instead of going, you can just go with like this position of C, or wherever it may be. So just kind of know your different inversions up the neck, so that if a melody line takes you from here to there, you can still put chords underneath it, and not hinder like where the melody line is supposed to be. Yeah.
Somebody in last week's podcast asked, like, how do you get better at fingerpicking, improve at fingerpicking? I kind of responded to them like outside of the podcast, but I think that's another thing too, is like if you're starting off with fingerstyle, finger picking, and you're worried about the dexterity with your right hand, it's like just play songs that you already know that you're comfortable with just strumming already, right? You should have some songs that you're already comfortable with that. And just try and pick random notes while holding the chords with your right hand. And I think pretty quickly you'll find that like certain patterns are really easy to repeat, and that's kind of like a majority of what people do anyways.
And you know, like going back to the chord tone thing, like a lot of melody lines are within the chord tones. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're playing fingerstyle and you're trying to figure out the melody to to whatever you're playing, just play the chord. It's probably going to be one of those chord tones, and that's why it's so important to learn the different inversions, because that specific chord tone might not be in this position or might not sound the best in this position. So you want to change position so you can get the chord tone in the right place. I usually like to place it on top so that because when you're playing the melody line on top, then when you play the chord on the bottom, the melody line doesn't get lost in the in the chord, because it's higher, it sounds higher. That sound will pierce through over the chord underneath it.
And that's kind of like just something you'll figure out the more you play, right?
Yeah, of course.
The more you play different inversions, you'll realize like, oh, this inversion works better over here than this inversion.
So like on a song by song basis, like figure out what chords are in the song, and then learn all the inversions or different inversions of those chords. All up and down the neck.
Sarah and Craig.
I should learn that.
Hashtag Sarah and Craig in the house. Sarah and Craig.
They one up the Spider too.
Spider, good stuff. I mean,
agreed.
I like the Spider. That's by Hal Kinnaman. Here on Kauai. He's local here on Kauai, but it's like one that he learned from Spain and just kind of like gifted it to us when he did. Like I talk about it to this day. It's like an ukulele on the ground video that just never made it to the light of day. But he's like a slack key flamenco master here on Kauai, and that was like one of his exercises that he, But yeah, form. What's better than Spider? Have good form.
But I just want to play.
I just want to
bring my ukulele up here and I just want to chunk the basketball string. We like sports and we don't care who knows.
I just want to dunk. Why do I want to learn how to pass and do all this?
Pass to who? Pass to who? Do me again?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Lenny was like, "Oh, this is how you do the ball handling." I was like, "No, why do I have to dribble? I just walk to the walk to the place. So I'm gonna shoot it for the horse game. Why would I dribble it?" No, I would like to get better at basketball or any kind of sport. I took tennis lessons and that worked out pretty good. Oh, forget it, man. E-sport. Come on, come at me, everyone. It's at Mario Kart.
Top athlete.
Top athlete, just bring it. I mean, people found out. A lot of people wanted to find out. They came to test, and you know what I mean. Like, they just flew too close to the sun with their wings of wax. That's all, We're
talking about it, right? And it's like when you spend so much time just doing that, you get really good at it.
Iron sharpens iron. I was put in a shark cage with a bunch of killers, so that's how I learned how to play Mario Kart really well. And now I'm the shark, and and I've made a whole group of being in a shark cage with me. So then that group is getting better.
Becoming sharks.
Yeah, becoming sharks also. That's why, speaking of Lenny, he is an amazing shark now in the Mario Kart world. Him and Abe. And Abe's famous line is like, "Imagine if I practiced." He's like naturally good at it now, like now that we've kind of taught him how to play, how to do the lines and stuff. He's pretty good, and his line is, "Oh, imagine if I practiced." I'm like, "Oh, hey, okay."
Story of his whole life.
He's just naturally good at things.
I feel like it's not like a shark swimming in a cage of sharks. It's like those shark people that you see that they just hold the nose clothes of the sharks, and they can just like stay away right from them.
Yeah,
and like, no, you're not gonna bite me. Like, you silly shark. There's no way.
I'm
you
the
can
shark
get me.
fighter guy.
Yeah. You're just the guy like poking the sharks, making them more angry. But it's like, no, you can never
bravest
get me.
man in the sea, whatever. Citizen blonde hair blowing so freely.
Shark fighter.
Hey, shark! I'm the shark fighter.
Yeah.
By Aquabats.
You want to do this?
Oh, sure.
Chris said.
Yeah.
Chris Lanson asked, when are you gonna show us some cardistry?
Oh, okay. All right. Should I show my Anna de Guzman?
Kyle's in the chat too.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't this kind of fitting, right? Because like we're talking about rabbit holes. Isn't this another from before?
Here is something called bloom. Okay, so we have to basically get a perfect shuffle. So it needs one more. So here it is. We get the perfect shuffle going on. Now I'm nervous. I was like doing it all day. Oh, there it is. Perfect shuffle. So you want to get that first. Once you have that, then we can move on to the next. Come on. Yeah, I'm nervous. I was doing it all day. Okay. Now once we have that, we're gonna try to push it together, and then we're gonna bloom a nice little card flower. You guys ready? So it's there, all good. So we're gonna bloom it now. So you can see that it's a perfect shuffle. Come on, open. There. Okay. And then we're gonna put it together like this. What's the best angle here? That? Sure. Close. Here's the closer. I worked on this one. This one's like something that I created. Something it starts out with the symbol, but then I did some extensions to this. Like you would get a chord and you get some chord extensions. So here's the symbol. So here's the 5 faces of symbol. So let me do it this way. It's 1, then it turns into 2, then it turns into 3, then it turns into 4, right? So we shuffle that around, then it turns into 5. So there's the 5. And then we put it back, and we grab a 6th one. So there's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we grab a 7th one. Let's see if we can grab a 7th one. There it is. I have a 7th one. And then we pose it, right? We go here, we connect it, slide this one down, close it here, go back, closer, bam. And of course, we can do more fancy things. Now you can't get me to stop doing it. Guy. See if I can. So no, go to the white shot because I want to see if I can get it over.
A little bit, but you can't see your left hand.
Yeah, that's what the cardistry.
Yeah.
Now I can't get me to stop doing it, guy. That's my hand warm-ups. Oh, let's do the worm, which is like the island style of cardistry.
It is.
So I get it from this angle, maybe, yeah. So we're gonna bring it out. We have this one sneaking in. Boom. Yeah.
Wagon wheel.
Wagon wheel. Yeah.
Everybody plays that song.
It's except that nobody actually does the worm anymore. It's considered like so easy that like if you do it, it's like, oh, that's it.
I guess.
Oh, that's cool, I guess.
But everybody gotta start somewhere, and it's like Island Style and Wagging Wheel. It's like it is one of the things that people just like learn when they're starting.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it. 2:15. With an hour and 15 is pretty good, right? Unless there's any kind of pressing questions that we got to get to.
Genevieve just came in and she was asking about live coaching and the podcast for next week and the week after.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. We gotta talk about that. Everybody. So next week, Monday is usually Mondays are when we have this podcast, and we also have a live coaching over at UU Plus. All right, but there's gonna be no podcast this next Monday, and the following Monday after that, because next Monday is Christmas. The following Monday is New Year's. No pod, and it's since it's all holiday, it's not even like the eve or whatever. It's like the actual Christmas Day and New Year's Day. We will not be at the office, so meaning that there is no live coaching on this coming Monday and the Monday after that. We haven't seen you in a long time anyway. Yeah.
She wasn't able to make it this time.
Genevieve, we miss you.
But I mean, if you're a UU Plus member, you can always send us like an email,
videos,
email.
Yeah.
And we'll
if you need
get
help
back
with
to
anything,
you.
we're always there to help.
Yeah.
Always there. Even if you're not a UU Plus member, you just email us asking questions. We'll answer questions. Yeah.
Genuine.
So we're pretty nice, right?
Yeah. But if you're a UU Plus member, we'll go out of our way.
Yeah. We'll send Kahai over to your house and he will fix whatever you're having a hard time. All right, Kahai?
Kahai will make a personalized Christmas video message for you. That's too expensive. You gotta.
Right?
Well, I've done stuff like that, not for Christmas, but I've made personalized stuff for people.
Really? Oh wow! It's like, and he doesn't even charge. It's not even like Cameo where you would charge.
Yeah.
Like Kahai will just do it.
Not guaranteed, but
Right. So if somebody emails you and said, "Hey Kahai, can you wish me and my family a Merry Christmas on video?" Would you do that?
Only if they're part of the fan club.
Oh, you gotta prove that you're part of the fan club. You gotta answer these questions 3. To get a video message from me, answer these questions 3.
I was gonna say probably not, but there is a way that I can possibly do that through
puppet. Okay, all right. Or do it in costume, in the KFC costume. Do you still have that?
No, I don't think I have that.
Why not?
We
should set that up as a cameo. Like people can can get you to wish people like happy birthday or Merry Christmas and stuff, or like sorry about your divorce kind of video,
If
right?
you guys, if you guys saw me all the time, then it wouldn't be like when I went on live coaching that one time and Jim was like, "What?"
That's true. That's true.
Gotta save it.
Yeah.
And if you're a UU Plus member, the replays of all the live coaching are available in the UU Plus forum.
But it's not there. It's not. I didn't record that part.
Oh, really? You took it out.
I intentionally did not record that part. I just thought.
Nice.
So you guys can't even.
The anonymity still exists with Kahai Fergan. All right. So, but there is one video that we can't take out that has you in it, right?
Maybe a couple.
There's a couple with you in it. So but we should do that. We should do like a cameo, like for UU Plus subscribers.
Oh man, it's like all of our friends in the chat. Matt is
it's a Christmas miracle.
Formally making a Kahai request video right now.
Nice.
Come on, guys, get out of here.
Matt, Craig, Sarah, let's have a Kardistry meetup soon. All right, some Christmas Mario Kart madness. Let's do it. And anyone who has streaming capabilities, let's stream it for the people who are interested in watching me smack everybody. Nah. But for real, nah.
Maybe
just joking, kind of.
Maybe we can stream it. That would be fun.
Oh yeah, you stream stuff.
I can set up something.
Yeah, so instead of like the sort of podcast next week, we'll just have like a Mario Kart cast.
I don't know. Yeah,
with your favorite ukulele players such as Lendl San Jose, Lendl, and Cynthia Lim, perhaps. Yeah.
I think
we have a Kardistry stream.
That'd be fun.
Jiggy with Viggy,
Yeah.
Your favorite ukulele players are all part of this Mario Kart league that we have. We have a racing team, everybody, made up of your favorite ukulele players. Matt Dahlberg, one of them, Yeah, Matt Dahlberg.
So even like Brada Sam is saying that he wants to we can make the race open.
Oh yeah, please. Brother Staff, you want to join the Kardistry? You are more than welcome to join the Kardistry. All right, this is me extending the invite over to Brada Sam. Oh, I'd love that. Fresh blood.
There's a company that I like, a Japanese company, and they hold like a company-wide Mario Kart tournament.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they do brackets, and then from the brackets people move up, but then they do a losers bracket of the people who just lost. I feel like we should do that, and then me and Aaron will play in the loser bracket too.
Nah, you're pretty good. Yeah, we also have like UK players. We have Sammy, 4-string boy. We have 4-string. We have Mark Gallagher, jamming on the Mario Kart. We have Brittany Paiva, Abe Lagrimas, your favorite uke players. All of it. All of us have a Mario Kart team.
It's like you guys are gonna come to the stream on like Friday and be like, "Where's the jam? Are you guys gonna play songs?" It's like, "Nope, we're just playing Mario Kart." Sorry.
Yeah, and since Mario Kart 8, I guess, is done now, like we're all just in anticipation for Mario Kart 9.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and I guess I'll go learn that too. But yes, we'll see you folks next time. Please be safe. Be safe. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all of you guys. Spend time with your families. Eat lots of good food if you can. Tell us all about it. Email us. Write it. Put it in the comments below or whatever. Tell us about your favorite Christmas dishes. If you guys have any questions, please direct them over at to Kai over at ukuleleunderground.com. We have please check out ukuleleunderground.com, and at ukuleleunderground.com, that's where we teach how to play the ukulele. Email there. So if you get there, email right there. Okay, we'll answer them right away. Check out ukuleleunderground.com. Ukuleleunderground.com. We have songs, we have lessons, we have techniques and stuff, and how to play the ukulele, and lots and lots and lots of cool stuff on there. All our friends, Kyle, Matt, Craig, and Sarah has done videos in there as well. So check it out.
And live coaching,
live coaching with yours Zoom. Truly over Zoom. You can book. You can have discounted private lessons with yours truly. Okay, so anybody can take private lessons from me through Ukulele on the Ground, but UU Plus discounted private lessons. That's a hefty discount because I can't believe that the price for a private lesson with me is that price, but discount for the UU Plus subscribers. So make sure you take advantage of that. If you're a UU Plus subscriber, you're like, I didn't know that. Yes, discounted on those private lessons. We also have the shop.ukuleleunderground.com. If you're late on your Christmas shopping, we can't guarantee you getting it before Christmas, but you know what? If it's an amazing ukulele that you're getting, it's worth the wait, right? If you want to save yourself for the right ukulele,
I'm not getting half my gifts from Amazon this year.
Supply chain issues.
So it'll be after Christmas anyway.
And so you can get gifts and such over at shop.ukuleleunderground.com. We have ukuleles, we have accessories, we have lessons and courses that you guys can get a la carte. So if you guys want to check that out, shop.ukuleleunderground.com. Represent in your ukulele club with an Ukulele Underground t-shirt, perhaps. We have that. I think we have it in black and
black, I think.
Black. That's why I'm like, please stop me from saying it if we don't. We have black Ukulele Underground shirts, or start your day right with an Ukulele Underground mug, perhaps. This is.
I don't know if we have that either.
Oh, okay, all right. Maybe a polish.
Yeah.
We still have CDs and DVDs.
Okay, we have CDs and DVDs. If you're like,
if you still have one of those
players. If you have a CD or DVD player, we have those. We have the Ultimate Beginner DVD, and I made a few albums. Two of my albums are there: Acoustic Robot Love Songs and Bandito Tyler, a collection of instrumentals that I did for the ukulele about a certain bandit named Tyler. And Acoustic Robot Love Songs, I wrote. That's my latest album that I released a long time ago. And we also have Eat Sleep Music Sessions, which is a rare one. That's myself and former UU head Ryan Isaki. What up, Ryan? Good luck in your endeavors. And we did such favorites like Europa, Body Surfing, Let's Get It On. We have I'll Be Your Baby Tonight, Super Mario Brothers. All that is on that album. So if you've always wanted to grab our version of that is on that recording. Okay, so is anything else? Check out the ukulele solo that just came out last week. Ukulele solo that came out last week. That is Noke Ano Ahi Ahi, classic Hawaiian song. You guys can learn the fingerstyle solo version of that, so make sure you check that out. Anything else?
Yeah, if anybody wants to give like a gift card for UU Plus, just email us. We don't have a high-tech way to do it, but we can get you a printable gift code that you can use as a stocking stuffer.
IOU.
So yeah, just email us.
Yeah, same. You can send us an email at questions. Right?
Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, that's it. We'll see you folks next time. Mele kaliki maka and haoli maka hikiho. See ya.